How do you beat Suicune? Deal 140 to 160 damage in one shot. That's how you kill it. So it's kind of weird that one of the counters to Suicune is a fire type Pokemon. Flareon EX does 130 damage base and the chance to deal 170 damage with 1 red and 2 Eevee bags. The main things you need to know about this deck are that you are relying on Eevee bags and reds to one-shot Suicune. The other tip, and maybe quite important tip, when you start off with Eevee and you retreat into a Magby to pump energy, it's not a waste, but you are adding energy to your discard pile so that you can combust later to generate it back to attack with Flareon. It's a pretty straightforward deck in that your goal is to one-shot Suicune. Anyway, let's get into some games so I can show you the deck. Alright, here we go. Not the best start, but not the worst start. So with this deck, we don't run Leaf or X speed, right? So what happens is that we have to manually retreat all the time into our babies and stuff like that, right? The good part is that when we retreat, we get what you call it? We have a discarded energy, right? And that allows us to power Flareon when in the early stages of the game, because most of the time you won't have a discarded energy, and Flareon can't power up. So yeah. Okay, so the other interesting thing about this deck is that even though it's a fire deck and Suicune is, you know, is plaguing the meta right now, we do counter it in a way because we can possibly deal up to 160, even 170 damage. That's very optimal situations, but most of the time 140 to 160 is quite possible, and that takes out a Suicune with a cape, right? So that's why this deck is pretty strong right now, even though water decks, you know, are everywhere right now. Okay, yeah, we get carded, we get Mars there, which sucks big time because we do need that Flareon. But on hindsight, maybe it's good that we get Mars early. I'm assuming they only play one Mars in this deck. I might be wrong, but you know, some people play with one red card, one Mars now. But you know, I think that's not too bad. So here the goal is to so yeah, just the previous turn I actually normally don't find a friend there, but because I did not have Flareon EX in hand, I wanted to find a friend. Normally what you do is if you have Flareon EX, you just back out, you just retreat, and then you pump the Magby, and then this turn on the next turn I'll be ready to attack. Yeah, this Sylveon evolution was probably a bit of a mistake because yeah, I mean, now I'm giving a chance for a 1-2 potential lead up for my opponent. So yeah, I mean, now we kind of have to dodge like Cyrus's. But it's still early in the game. They only have 3 cards in hand. Hopefully they don't have a Cyrus. The good thing here is that we do take out this Suicune, so that at least gives us 1 turn of a break. Okay, so I wanted to heal there, but because I don't have a second damage modifier, meaning I don't have the Eevee bag, I only have an Eevee bag and 1 red, means that the next turn if they put up a Suicune, I'm guaranteed not be able to get out unless I top deck. But so if in this aspect for not healing, I didn't heal because there's no damage. I mean, there's no threat this turn. I'm not going to take any damage at all. So I decided to take the risk and hold the Eevee bag. Of course I'm like susceptible to red card and Mars, but I don't think there's much you can really do to, you know, dodge red card and Mars. Like, don't get too desperate, meaning that if he really does it, you know, it sucks, right? But at least now I know that I gave myself this chance to take out this Suicune right here and win the game. The other thing is, because if they might have a cape, you would hope to top deck a red in this scenario, and you have a red and an Eevee bag. So yeah, that's why I kept the Eevee bag and not heal just now. Plus, to be fair, a heal there wouldn't really have saved much because if they did have a Cyrus on the following turn, I would have still died. To that, Suicune was still taking out my Sylveon on the bench with the Cyrus. So yeah. Right. So here we don't have the best start again. But I think in this case, I do just retreat. Yeah, because I do have Flareon in hand. I was trying to hopefully get basics, but that did not work out well at all. So it was probably a bad move on my part because I was like, I'm kind of in excess of cards, and I mean, sometimes I panic, right? I mean, and at that point, you're hoping to draw 2 basics and hopefully put them down. Because I think in this deck, you're not too concerned about your bench management. Of course, you are slightly, but I think a lot of times it's more about getting your deck alive that is important. So here, because we retreated just now, we do have that spare energy. We can go ahead and attack. Here, I just use the red. Again, because I only have 1 Eevee Bag in hand, I'm gonna hold it. If I had another red or Eevee Bag in hand in this spot, I would have used it. Okay, that sucks for us slightly because now we definitely won't be able to take this Giratina out this turn, and we are at threat of a Suicune using a leaf into Suicune the next turn. Kind of don't really have much of a choice here. I believe I'm gonna attack and combust and then heal, or I'm not sure if I'll even heal, to be honest, because I think the Suicune does a maximum of 80 damage to me the next turn, so I know I'm not at risk of dying. 80, but let me think. 80 include so 60 with what they have, 20 for weakness damage, so 80 damage maximum. So I'm safe from dying to a leaf Suicune. So I decided not to overextend my heals and stuff like that turn. This turn I'm able to heal. I don't even need to heal, I just need to use the +10 and win the game. So that's nice. And then we just +10 and win the game. Yeah. So yeah, against Suicune decks, it's kind of sucky in that you have to do a lot of math. The strats sometimes are not so straightforward because, like most other Pokemon, you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna like Magnezone, you know they're gonna do 110 damage, and that's it, right? Or maybe if you factor in Red, example, there's 130 damage. Stuff like that. It's kind of black and white. But then now with Suicune, you kind of have to count your way to, you have to count your points as you go. Count your amount of damage you're going to take the next time as you go. So in that case, it would help a lot just to count the damage. But yeah. Alright, so here, one of the things about Suicune is that one about the things about this deck is that you sometimes have to use the Eevee EX to take out, well, I mean, I don't have an option here, but sometimes you just have to use it to take out the baby and sacrifice it. So if I did have a full bench, it would still be very comfortable if they took out my Eevee here. Comfortable because I still would have be able to deal up to 100, and 30 to 150 damage quite comfortably on the next turn, which will take out most of these Pokemons, most of my opponent's Pokemon. But yeah, here we're kind of in a really very dicey spot. Thankfully, we draw our basics. Yeah, I think most of the important basics that we'll need, we are drawing it here. Okay, so we don't get Magby, which it's not too bad in this position because we do have 1 point, which means we just need to take out this Entei and we are okay. So here I just attack. if they had like a Greninja or something like that, I probably would have healed. Oh well, I can't even heal there. So I don't know. Maybe I should have. Actually, on hindsight, I should have Sylveon here. That was probably a slight misplay on my part. I should have Sylveon. I should have. Yeah. But either way, it's GG. I just need to. I was throwing here. I should have used the Rainbow Flareon. That was a throw. But yeah, that's GG. I mean, because I think at that point I was just like, I was at 10 health, I had no other basics. It was kind of like a weird. I mean, it felt like it was GG my previous turn. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Here we go against. Yeah, double Giratina seems to be some form of new play. Normally it's just one Tina. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like double Tina. I think that makes it. I don't think this deck relies on Tina, honestly. But it does make a difference to have one Tina. I would say that it changes the game quite a bit, but not. I don't know about two. I think that's a bit too much. That means you consistently start with Tina a lot, which is not what you really want. Definitely they'll run Leaf then. I would imagine in this deck, but yeah. So here, I believe I was not at a threat this turn, so I decided to just, you know, attack. I'm highly likely retreating into Magby the next turn regardless of anything. Yeah, I'm just going to probably retreat here and start pumping energy onto my bench. Okay, so I do have. I'm not pumping the Sylveon here on purpose because I'm putting down the Sylveon because I don't need to draw cards. I have an excess of cards right now. There's a high chance that I'm going to get red card on Mars. So I'm just going to keep it in case I get carded and I can still, yeah. So we get Mars and then I can hopefully use the Sylveon. Okay, so thankfully we at least draw into the Sylveon and hopefully from there we can get into into a Flareon. Do not get into a Flareon. So what we do here is we just pump energy. Again, because we have to be very careful of a possible Leaf play. There we go, from our opponent. And now we have to hope that we do get into the Flareon. If not, it's kind of GG. Yeah, this deck reminds me a lot of the Charizard deck, where, you know, if you don't get the Charizard within the first 3 turns, you're kind of screwed because by the time you come out and stoke, you're kind of dead. Yeah, even by the 3rd turn, if you get Charizard, sometimes it's game over. But you know, yeah. So this deck, similar vibes in my opinion, to that. So here we are in a decent spot, short of the opponent having red, which normally I don't think Suicune decks play red. So here I can, yeah, I just take the. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I think. Oh yeah, I needed that. Yeah, to combust. Okay, so yeah. The GGs. The other thing I could have done there was Sabrina. And then use Eevee Bag. No, I couldn't do that. I thought I could do that. No, I couldn't do that. I had to do what I just did. That was the only win condition, because if I Sabrina and Eevee bagged, I would have died to the combust. So yeah. Okay, I think getting red card early nowadays is not the worst thing. It's kind of maybe a good thing. And the silver, and the opponent wasted silver. So I mean, loosely put, he lost 2 cards to do, which I find so pointless. He lost 2 cards to take away 1 card from my hand. So who's really winning here? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Here I decided to just come out. Okay, yeah. So I Sabrina to start dealing damage to the Gasslot. kind of forcing my opponent to have like well, not a Leaf, a Lyra, a Celesteela, forcing them to have a card essentially to come out with the Darkrai. Okay, so the reason I didn't put the Magby out is because the Magby had 20 damage on it, and I'm not sure now. Okay, and I wanted, okay, and I didn't want them to be yeah, to be putting on the gas, putting the energy on the back. I'm not sure why, really. Okay, because I know I'm going to take out the Gaslight this turn, and I don't want the Darkrai to be ready to attack once I take out this Gaslight. So yeah, that was the reason. So now once I take out this Gaslight, which I'm going to, the Darkrai on the back can't attack me this turn. Why I did not put out the Magby this turn? Because I wanted to keep the Red. The Red would have won me the game here. And because of the Dark Pendant, I knew I was gonna lose the card, and the probability of me, I wanted to give at least not 100% probability of losing the Red, right? We draw the Red here, which is good for us, but it also means it means that if we attack here, we are screwed, right? I mean, obviously, I don't expect this deck to play a Red. If they do, it would have been GG. So I believe I decided to just treat here, and no, I did not. Okay, see what I do. Okay, I just I'm gonna say this was a slight misplay, because I think it would have been better to, wow, okay, retreat into the Magby. Okay, I think I just wanted to use my Red in the active, but that's it. I'm quite sure I can't do that now. So I do need an let's see what I do. I retreat. Never mind. Okay, I think I went for the Hail Mary then. I do need 2 Eevee bags, honestly. Oh no, I can Eevee bag. Okay, Eevee bag. I just needed 1 Eevee bag, and then I Red from here. Okay, yeah, so that's GG. And it's GG because they the Flareon will go down, but the opponent has no bench Pokemon. So I think most of you would know this, but that means you win the game even if they get 3 points and you get 3 points. So yeah, my opponent got 3 points. Yeah, but it was GG. We win the game. Okay, so we get into a nice start. I decided not to put down my Eevees because I don't expect a Red card here, but even if we do, I don't think it's, I mean, I think it's not worth the risk of them Sabrina-ing me. Plus, I mean, if I knew for sure it's a Suicune deck, I would have just put it down, because I know that Suicunes generally don't run Cyrus. But that's it. I know some Suicune decks play Repel nowadays. But yeah. So opponent had a bad start. Obviously, they went first. Firstly, they went first, and secondly, their Doki was in the active, so that's not good for them. Yeah, I decided to go with the Flareon because that's all I have. Again, I'm kind of bench managing right now. Hence, I'm not putting the Eevee EX out. So here's a Flareon. I think let's see if I do it. Okay. I think personally this is a misplay. What I could have done is I just combust my bench Flareon. The right play would be to combust my bench Flareon, have the one energy, and continue attacking with the Flareon in the active. That would have been the right play. But yeah, when I was kind of figuring, this is what's happening when I was figuring out this deck. Thankfully, okay, I got too excited there. But thankfully I drew into Red and the Eevee Bag, so we just win the game right here. But yeah, the right play there would definitely have been to combust the Flareon, attack, combust the Flareon EX on the bench and attack with the Flareon in the active. I could also use Eevee Bag there to heal the Flareon to not get Cyrus. Yeah, I think that would have been probably the right play. Okay, so here we go against Donphan. Since I do have the Red and the Eevee Bag in hand, I'm kind of comfortable giving out this Magby. I mean, anyway, this is normally what you are gonna do either way by default, right? You're just gonna let it pump your Magby, and yeah. So this turn we're definitely ready to attack with the Flareon, and we will take out this Donphan out, which puts the opponent in a very weird spot because they don't have well, they can attack me with the Riolu, but that's going down the next turn as well. So at this point it'll be kind of GG. Actually, it will definitely 100% be GG either way, yeah, so yeah. There was no way from this point that they could have survived. Because even if they had the Famfi, it wouldn't be, it would still die this turn, and all we need is 1 point. Yep, GG. So here we get an awesome start. We are going second. Again, I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I get Sabrina, but obviously I put myself in a position where I get masked or red carded. Personally, I think a mask or red card here, I just treat it like an Iono and go from there. So yeah, it's not too bad if we get carded there, in my opinion, because I mean our odds are kind of still similar in drawing. Obviously we lose one card, right? But yeah, I'd rather take the risk than, you know, getting Sabrina, most of the time at least. So here personally I feel that our opponent kind of messed up a bit in that they essentially gave me a free kill here. Let's see what I do though. Yeah, I felt like I wanted this 1 point more than, and I could sacrifice this Flareon after the 1 point. It's not too crazy to do that. But I do expect, I mean, you kind of have to expect that they have will, okay, or they would grind core that energy away. You do have to expect that. But it means that we do have kind of a free turn the next turn where we don't take much damage. Followed by the following turn, which I'll take 120 damage, right? But yeah. Here I just decided to draw, kind of increase my odds overall. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw my second Eevee Bag. Okay, at this point, why I use the combust on the active is because if I get Cyrus or if I get Sabrina, I can give up either Flareon and I will be fine. Right, because I would still be able to attack for at least 150 whatever damage the next turn, you know, plus the modifiers and all this stuff. Here I'm hoping to get an Eevee Bag, which we do draw an Eevee Bag. Means now we just have to combust this out and attack for 170 damage. Red and double Eevee bags. I'm not sure if this is particularly is the best play forward, meaning like because I mean obviously there are times you're not going to draw. I mean majority of the times you're not going to draw the double Eevee bag. But yeah, I mean I had a point. So yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done there if I did not have the double Eevee bags. But yeah. Okay, here we're facing against the stand. I mean Pheromosa, so I don't want to put anything down because I don't want to take the extra damage. I think I decided to go for, I just decided to go for the full force solo Flareon here. Again, I'm not exactly sure if that's the best play, but I think with what I had in hand is not a bad play to make, because that means I'm only taking 20 each turn. I do think I heal up double here because I don't want to die to Buzzwole at 120. Maybe just one, I think just one's good. I don't expect them to play Red or Giovanni, or do I? Okay, so I was just a bit concerned about that. Yeah, so I just decided to heal up and attack. So that Celesteela kind of sucks a bit because now they are able to rotate as freely as they need to. Which means at some point I do, well at this turn I do probably just put out most of my stuff because I should be taking out the Pheromosa this turn. I can't, yeah. So at this point I was like, I think I was kind of like, I thought I was gonna lose game already because I do expect them in general to have, if they had a Lusamine, it would have been pretty much GG here. But they didn't, so yeah, I'm not sure how I could have played that differently, like factoring in the Pheromosa. I mean, factoring in not using the double Eevee bags there. Alright, okay, so that's all the games. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you guys saw out for if the last round the Buzzwole had the Lusamine, what could I have done before that when there was the last Pheromosa? Because I don't think there's a way I would have won that. If they had the Lusamine for the Buzzwole is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, all right. Yeah, this is a decently strong deck. It's pretty fun. Really annoying when you get red carded. So I think you definitely can climb with this deck because of the amount of damage output you do. But I don't particularly love the deck a lot. I just think it's good. Right, it's good, it's fun, probably an A tier kind of level. Alright, yeah, try it, have fun.